Tourists for the Stars by J.N. Wdowski. For your full enjoyment, be sure to read or listen to the end. Chapter 4. The Jungles of Delta Pavonis 3. 2 days later. Dodge used a local machete to hack a path through the dense green Delta Pavonis 3 jungle. They were not kidding about off the beaten path. He wiped the sweat off his brow as he continued to hack away. His white cowboy hat now had a sweat stain around it, along with the armpit and chest of his once clean white button-down shirt. Jackie walked close behind him. She wore a pith helmet and a white cotton shirt that was also stained with sweat. She had the top buttons undone to help her bear the heat and humidity. From time to time, she would swat a local insect that would land on her bare neck to sample her human blood. Looking behind them, she was amazed how quickly the vegetation Dodge had chopped through had grown back, erasing their trail through the dense foliage. "How do you know we are going in the right direction?" She looked up, seeing the sunlight filtering through the upper canopy of trees, but unable to tell where the alien sun was in the sky. "As you know, I have a keen sense of direction," he answered. "There are no landmarks to have a keen sense of direction from." She doubted him. He could not stop. He knew if he did, they would be engulfed by the jungle. He kept hacking their way through as he spoke to her. "Their GPS satellite system is state-of-the-art. I pointed us in the right direction and just stayed on course." "So you haven't checked it since we entered this jungle?" she questioned him. "No. As you have noticed, if I stopped to check, we would be stuck where we are. The vines would start growing around us quicker than a New York minute. If you want to get out of this, we need to keep moving." He relentlessly kept chopping their way through the dense alien jungle. She stayed close behind him as she took in the chorus of animal songs, barks, chirps, growls, and howls. "You sure this place is safe?" "They told me before we left that the vegetation is the biggest threat. As long as we keep moving, we'll be okay. The predators in this ecosystem are too small. They would be more afraid of you than you of them. The large animals are herbivores. They are more interested in munching their way through the vegetation to bother us." "If the predators are too small and the herbivores are bigger, what do the predators eat?" The whole thing did not sound right to her. "I assume they feed on the young, sick, and dying, and smaller herbivores," he guessed, not really knowing. "Well, the insects seem to like munching on me." She swatted another bug filled with her blood. "What about diseases from these little buggers?" She was worried. "Nothing harmful for us. There aren't any viruses in this world that have evolved to be hosted by humans. Our biology is too different. At least that's what they told me." He kept them moving forward. "Let's hope what they told you is correct." She was not as confident as he was that they had nothing to worry about. "You remember what killed the Martians in HG? Wells' War of the Worlds? The common cold." 3.5 Earth hours later. Dodge finally could hear the sound of water. It gave him the energy to hack even faster as he finally cleared the last of the broadleaf underbrush into a rocky clearing. Before him was a site, several acres of solid natural pink and white marble. In its center, sprayed up 12 feet into the air, a fountain of fresh water. The fountain rained back into a slightly rippling light blue pool. He turned to help Jackie out of the jungle for her to also see the natural beauty of the site. "This would be a perfect spot to build a house," Jackie responded as she took in the sights and sounds of the water. A few of the local animals kneeling near the edge of the water were drinking peacefully. As they walked towards the pool, the animals lifted their heads, spotted them, and scurried back into the cover of the jungle's underbrush. It would be a sight to wake up to every morning. Dodge agreed. He looked back at the trail he had just created and could see the underbrush quickly healing itself. But a hell of a commute to work. "Or shopping," she added. He looked up to the sky above him. A Ford grasshopper could do it. Build a landing pad on the roof. Yet unfortunately, even if we could afford to build a place here, the Delta Pavonisians would never allow us to. Because it's a protected reserve? Yep. And can you blame them? It is stunning, Dodge replied. How come we are the only ones here? Looking around, she realized they were the only ones in the whole area. There were no Delta Pavonisian couples drinking from the waters hoping to conceive. It is not their breeding season, Dodge explained to her as he unloaded his backpack to set up a tent for them for the night. Breeding season? She questioned him. Unlike us humans that can breed every month, they have a set breeding season in their spring. It is fall. He explained to her as he pressed a button on a small box he took out of his backpack. Instantly, a large, comfortable tent for two popped up. Dodge used a hammer to stake the tent in place. Home sweet home. Shall we start? Jackie excitedly began to undress. I could use a bit of a breather. Perhaps you can wine and dine me a little first? He gestured her not to undress. As you know, I am not cheap, he smiled. But you're easy. She finished his sentence as she swung her arms around him and kissed him. That evening. After a short nap in their tent, Dodge had built a campfire and had set up a grill over it. He was using it to cook some local meats he had bought before they left civilization. Jackie was already eating the first piece of cooked meat. As she enjoyed the barbecue, she looked up at the night sky above them. Can you see Earth from here? She asked Dodge, taking in the millions of stars in the sky. You can see our sun, at least what it looked like 20 years ago. He also looked up. But I have no idea which star is ours, not a navigator. And besides, the night sky is very different here than it would be back on Earth. It is beautiful, though, she stated. Well, no light pollution out here in the wilderness, he explained. Our night skies are just as beautiful. We would just need to get far out from civilization without any artificial lights. He took the last piece of meat for himself. Do you want me to cook more? No, I'm good. It is really good. I love the hickory-like flavor to it, she responded. And I don't want to weigh myself down for when we make love in the pool. I lucked out. It was difficult to find any dry enough wood to make the fire. The wood I did find is giving that hickory-like flavoring. He took a bite, and his face showed he too appreciated his cooking. This is good. Better than cooking with real hickory. The fact the wood is not completely dry, it smokes more, enhancing the flavor. We should see if we can buy this wood and ship it back to Earth. We could open the first Delta Pavonis 3 barbecue restaurant in Stamford. We could make a killing. Perhaps over time we can franchise the restaurant and quit both our jobs. She dreamed as she licked the barbecue sauce from her fingers. Your sauce is great too. Thank you. It is my secret plan. He grinned. Secret plan? Yes, to conquer your heart through your stomach. You conquered my heart years ago, she confessed. Well, to make sure I still occupy it, he clarified. Happy stomach, happy wife. She smiled. You know women so well. Well, men's magazines are mostly pictures of women. Men, when we are together, talk about the women in our lives. He explained, women's magazines are pictures of clothes and food. When women talk, they talk about food like men talk about great sex. She nodded in agreement. 2 Earth hours later. They stripped their clothes, took each other's hands, and entered the pool that reflected the stars upon its surface. The water was not very deep. Jackie could easily stand on the bottom with her whole head above the water. Dodge bent his knees to be at the same height as her. They approached the fountain. They tilted their heads up, closed their eyes, still holding each other's hands, and widely opened their mouths to drink the falling spring water. It's sweet. Jackie was surprised as she kept drinking. Having their fill, they both looked at each other. Dodge stood straight up. His shoulders broke the surface of the water. Jackie looked up at him with big, soft eyes. He took her into his arms and allowed her to mount him as he stood mostly submerged in the water. Concealed under the water, she wrapped her legs around him. Even though it had been over a week that they made love, Dodge purposely controlled and paced himself, taking the time for Jackie to reach her climax. As she screamed with passion, he felt her squeezing him tightly in waves. Only then did he allow himself to finally release his pinned-up desires deep inside her. His moans of ecstasy joined with hers. Suddenly, they were both bathed by lights shining from above them. Several alien craft hovered quietly above. Cameras hung from their open doors, filming their interaction. From the shores around them, they could hear others chopping through the tree lines. Additional bright lights were directed upon them. Startled, they held each other tightly, using their hands to block the bright lights from their eyes. As they moved to return to the shore to retrieve their clothes, the lights followed them. Jackie attempted to hide her nakedness from the lights. Dozens of Delta Pavonisians began taking pictures and videos of the human couple that were frantically redressing. Not bothering to dry themselves off, they dressed quickly. Their cotton shirts clung to their wet bodies. The aliens encircled them. They happily began clapping and speaking to them in their alien tongue. Frowning and red with embarrassment, she questioned Dodge. "How many of them did you tell we were coming here?" "I only told the concierge at our hotel. I was asking him where to find the fountain," he answered. "Oh, and the clerk at the sporting goods shop where I bought the tent and the machete. And I think I might have mentioned it to the cashier at the supermarket where I bought our provisions. That's all. It is not like I put an ad in the local paper that we were coming here." "That's all?" She punched him in the shoulder. "Did you tell them to be discreet?" She interrogated him. "Ouch! I didn't think I needed to." He defended himself. "They all told me that it wasn't the breeding season, that no one would be here." The Delta Pavonisians surrounding them all smiled and shook both their hands. Some of the men reached up and patted Dodge on his upper back. The women, gleaming naughty, knowing grins, gave Jackie local pink and blue flowers. They were all speaking to them, but the human couple could not understand. Dodge picked up the translator for the device to interpret what they were saying into English. "Bless you with a large litter. May you have 3 males and 3 females. Be fruitful. Be granted a healthy and comfortable pregnancy. May their hooves not scratch you." She kept smiling at the Delta Pavonisians. Yet, between her clenched teeth, she was chastising Dodge. "This is so embarrassing." "Hey, look at the bright side," he responded as he continued to shake the short alien male's hands. "What bright side? Our making love will most likely be posted on all their social media and news outlets." She grinded her smiling teeth. "At least they're not shooting at us," he answered. Sighing, she had to agree. That is an improvement. Please continue to Chapter 5, The Real Adventure.
To support the author, please like, share, comment, and subscribe.